So, while I'm doing my homework, I have decided it'd be a good idea to use this opportunity to make another potential video if this even becomes one, because I do not lack the discipline to actually edit the video, but especially since I'm not good at it, because if I'm not good at something, I just don't have the motivation to do it. Anyways, what I want to talk about, just to sum things up, is a little theory I have, as long as me being on these anti-psychotics. They trust me to go together. Well, I need to go get something real quick. Okay, so the theory is that I'm sure many other people have come up with it as well. It's not special or anything, but it's pretty much that, your intelligence can be defined by how much energy you spend on it. Usually there's a lot of cases of where an intelligent person would suffer from other things like mental illness, weakness, lack of eyesight, etc. Can't speak. This is obviously it could be coincidence as well, but is it really like strange that we never really see like a healthy, intelligent person? At least not that often. This could be because it's what a lot of them said that it's based on how much energy you spend on it. Some genetics allow you to spend more energy on intelligence than others, and that's just how it is. So, what does this have to do with anti-psychotics, you ask? Well, obviously antipsychotics are very demanding on the brain. They block off dopamine receptors, which is a pretty essential function of the brain. Obviously, it's going to take some energy to deal with that, to work around it, and to do that constantly takes a lot of energy as well. That could probably contribute to the fact that it causes sedation, and in my case, cognitive impairment. I know sometimes it may not seem like I'm not any dumber, I guess, at least to my family. But to me, it's pretty clear as day that I'm not at my maximum potential. I used to be more literate. I feel like I could understand things easier. I can understand abstract concepts better than I used to when my dose wasn't lowered, but not as well as what I was originally, which is like I would pretty much be spitting philosophy every second. And I was just I feel like I'm a shell of my former self, not really as good, and this feels like it shouldn't have to be that way, especially since I was given this gift and now it's taken away from me. I'm honestly surprised I'm even doing this while I'm speaking, because usually I stutter a lot, because my verbal fluency goes down the drain, but it seems to be better now. Maybe this medicine is medicine deal is getting better as over time, because there is a thing where antipsychotics are fat soluble, so they could potentially store themselves in my fat cells, which means I might have to lose weight to get rid of the effects completely, which is why these things have such a long half time, or I'm not sure if that's what it's called. My situation is not the only one that's on the internet. Obviously, a lot of people suffer with antipsychotics and what they do to their brain as well. Especially, I've seen it a lot of Reddit forums as well, where people will be like, they can't, like, they're just less intelligent, they can't focus, they can't understand concepts. Like, pretty much what was happening with me. And the problem I have is that I feel like I'm being forced on this medicine. Like, I know I could be pretty crazy off without it, but it's like, do I really have to sit here and watch my entire being sacrificed just for the sake of everyone else's sanity? Or really, it'll be fine. I feel like there's a way you could deal with this mental illness other than using these drugs, Like, I feel like there's a way I could live and still have all this stuff. Like, for example, I had a problem with delusions, right? Well, delusions are pretty, wow, this needs medicine. In my opinion, I feel like I would rather just have it so that people would ground me instead of me having to take these super numbing medicine. And also other things like the hallucinations, the hallucinations don't even scare me, to be honest. They're not even a problem, and I feel like that shouldn't even be a factor in whether I should be on the medicine or not. There's other things as well, such as anger issues. I feel like you could just tell me how to deal with anger instead of putting me on these super powerful drugs. Like, it's not even, I'm sure my anger was really bad. I could often do things in spite, but that doesn't need medicine, does it? Like, what's the point of therapy at this point? Why not just put everyone on drugs, That's what I don't get. I don't know. There's other things as well, like my thoughts being loud. If I think there's a possible, like, a reality where I could have just simply learned, hey, these thoughts are clearly no one else is talking or moving their lips right now. It's clearly this is my thoughts instead of some weird part of reality, like some God is talking to me or whatever. Which is not, which was one of my illusions that I was God, but yeah. What else? Oh, I think that's it. The delusions, hallucinations, everything else could have been. I could have coexisted with these symptoms, and they weren't life threatening. I feel like, except maybe for suicidal tendencies, which I know I did. I attempted suicide like plenty of times. I couldn't even count. I know they weren't really. A lot of them, sometimes I wouldn't really consider attempts, because anyways, the many times I couldn't suicide, I understand that they want to do something about that, because they obviously don't want me to kill myself, but it's like, I was already about to kill myself when I was on this medicine, because I was stupid and made me overdose on 160, 50 pills, maybe around that number. And honestly, I probably should be careful with my words, but I wouldn't be so surprised if I did it again, if this doesn't get any better. One thing I really value is my intelligence, and it's always been one of my defining characteristics. For it to be taken from me, it's like it's ridding me of my usefulness in this world, and I don't really like that. So since I can't really think of anything else to say on that topic, why don't I just talk about the theory again? I feel like, I think there's some flaws to the theory, because like I feel like it's definitely possible for like an intelligent person to be perfectly healthy. But maybe, I'm not really sure about that, because it's honestly hard to see how they could be so intelligent but lose nothing for it, you know? If intelligence is so free, why isn't every species' intelligence obviously sacrificing things for it? You know? I'm really digging for stuff to say right now, but in this case, I could probably apply this onto one of my own characters. His name is Mr. Lunit, but I don't know. You could call him Corellis, but in the culture is disrespectful because he's the king. He has a very high intelligence. That's why his family is considered royalty, because along with them creating the religion that the whole society is based around. So he doesn't really he's kind of muscular. He's really muscular, so he didn't really lose intelligence points. But I guess you could argue it's because it's a cartoon. But it's like, maybe I should nerf him somehow, because having such high intelligence on his own is pretty good as a trait. Anyways, however, since my dosage has been reducted, okay, it's making up words here. I've been able to have more of a personality, I think. However, I'm still pretty I don't know, that kind of bland. I was into MBTI, and I'm still in. And I was trying to type myself, and I was like, I don't even fit into any of these definitions, because it's like I had no personality whatsoever. Had no strengths, and definitely a lot of weaknesses, but no strengths. I'm just bad at everything. But now it's a little better. I could see traits I could possibly have. I still have a hard time typing myself. I noticed I do have some adherence to logical reasoning. But it's not like it's on all the time like a TI doll would be. But I can't. Well, let me just say, it's between INTP and ENTP, and I don't see any dom either, because I feel like I'm not always aware of possibilities, but I think it's still more plausible than TI dom, because I'm honestly not the type to be judging types to be have their brain on all the time. That's literally impossible for me now. I mean, technically everyone's brain is on all the time, but consciously thinking or making connections in my head. I feel like I should also consider extrovert thinking instead of introvert thinking, simply because I do care a lot about efficiency and stuff, even though I fail at doing it, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm trying to keep this off topic, but I can't think of anything else to say, to be honest. You know, what the hell, why not just make this about my time at the four mental facilities, for admissions to the mental facilities I went to only 3 different ones, but went to mental facility 4 times. One of the experiences was the recent one. I'm gonna go from recent to least recent. Or should I? Let me see. Let me go least recent to most recent. Okay, so for the first mental facility I was at, it's hard to remember really. It wasn't anything special, but the only thing notable I could think of was that I kind of freaked out, and I know it was because I was having some, I was being weirdly obsessive about my face, and I was thinking I was getting lines. It made my dad think I was hallucinating, which I'll get to later, but I wasn't hallucinating, I was overreacting. And anyways, let me on that. While I was doing that, when I was freaking out, there's this staff member, like a tech or something, who would check on me occasionally. And whenever he checked on me, while I was freaking out when he was gone, when he checked on me, I would sit perfectly still and act like I was totally okay. It just confused him, and he started complaining to others tech or nurse that I was like freaking out when he was not there, but when I was there, I was perfectly still. I was perfectly still and calm. And that's a trait that I showed in my psychosis as well. But I feel like it wasn't really because of that though. It's because I was just trying not to freak him out too much, but it did the opposite, obviously. Anyways, the second time I went to a mental facility was that same mental facility, Austin Oaks. And this time it was because actually I forgot. Anyways, what was it that caused me to go back? Honestly, I forgot, but there, dang, I really can't remember the second time I went to them. I'm just gonna skip to the third for now. The third time I went to the facility, actually no, the second time, okay, the second time was, okay, look, I was admitted because I was I in, okay, now I'm just wondering if I was in there 5 times or in the men's facility 5 times or 4 times, but anyways, the time I'm remembering, I went there because I was having a psychotic episode after withdrawing from my medicine, which I wasn't supposed to, at least not in cold turkey way, and this caused my bipolar to become bipolar psychosis. Anyways, I was speaking the ancient tongues, and And then I had to be transferred, and I was like, oh, I was kind of had this breakdown where it's like kind of shouting. I was all like, I know how the word works. And then I was also insulting my dad at the same time. It's because we had to fight, and I was still mad about it. Anyways, he called the police on me, and I got sent to the. At first, I was kind of smug because it's like, I wasn't suicidal or anything. What are they gonna do to me? But anyways, it was still a psychosis episode. So, and he found out about Meridel, which then I got sent there. I wasn't there, and yeah. When I was first sent there, wait a minute, no. Okay, I got the order of events. Okay, he called me. He called the police on me. Then I got sent to Osnogs. Then I stayed there for like 3 weeks, and a bunch of stuff happened. Then there's one thing I can remember is that there's like a riot, like like a uprising from the patients. The one after someone got like booty juice, and that they felt wasn't supposed to get, like, she didn't really do anything wrong, which I honestly don't. I don't know. I wasn't really watching. I didn't really participate in it, of course, but yeah. Anyways, a bunch of other events happened. It's like, I think it's the most interesting stay I had in a mental facility. Like, there's this kid. I'm not gonna say his name, obviously, but we didn't get along very much. His personality clashed with mine a lot. He's like the obvious life of the party type. Like, if I had to type him in like typology and stuff, he'd probably be an SEE and then ESFP. He always talks over people. He's very annoying. Yeah, I think that's the main reason why I found him annoying. But anyways, we often argued a lot. He was again, his personality clashed with mine, and I oftentimes I say what he says doesn't make any sense and stuff like that. Then there's also a time where he met this kid who was 17, so it's hard. I could hardly call him a kid. Where at first he kind of bullied him a bit. If you wonder what his type was, it could be, it's probably an ILI. And then they eventually became good friends, and he even says he's, at first I didn't like him, but then I got to know him and he's a really good guy and stuff. Anyways, is something interesting that happened with him is that his parents, he lost a bunch of his siblings and parents to I don't remember what, but something tragic happened in his life, and eventually at the end he got adopted by one of the staff members. That was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of more things. Oh yeah, it felt unreal. I saw this guy, this boy, his facial features look so perfect. So I was like, what? And psychosis me was a little bit more bold than I am right now. So she asked can you please date me? And anyways, he kind of said yeah, but something. I literally couldn't hear him. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he was into polygamy with the way he acted. Anyway, but there's that, and I met this girl to, well, he developed a crush on as well. Her voice sounded like perfect for Andrine, for my Leona comic idea. Anyway, she had a very, or she had a good big cup size, if I should say. Anyways, at the end, I actually ended up hugging her, which I'm surprised. Like, I had W-riz when I was in psychosis. I had unbelievable confidence. I had no idea why I lost that. Anyways, I'm trying to think of something else that happened. Oh, here's the holy stuff that happened. And oh yeah, on this day, I banged my head on the table multiple times. It was mostly an act for attention, just to make them. I don't know why I did it, because it definitely wasn't gonna work. It's just gonna make me stay there longer, but it's pretty much an act of self-aggression, just to like be like, I don't want to be here. Anyways, and because I was missing off school and I didn't like that. It ended up not mattering that much though, because I went to Maryville, but I'll get to that. I'm going at this out of order, but at the start of the time I was admitted, I was very scared. I was literally scared to leave the room. It was like something that was attacking me. And what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, and also, near the end of my stay, I don't know if I was hallucinating or not, but I was hearing a bunch of noises. This clucking noise, which really messes with my misophonia, and I kept hearing it. I don't know if the other kids were doing it, but I think they were, honestly, now that from what I remembered. But yeah, anyways, I was literally screaming because of that. If you don't know why I'm screaming at noise, you just search up what misophonia is. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about how I moved to Meridel now. I moved to Meridel afterwards. I was for some reason I was excited that I was moving there. I didn't realize it was just another mental facility. And whatever, when I was there, I was admitted. I was like hallucinating audio hallucination. Whereas like I was hearing that clicking noise again, and I was literally screaming. And I was, yeah. So that was probably very unpleasant because, a bunch of other kids were there. They're there, and they have to hear that every night until they, stop me from hearing the hallucinations. This is where I start to see, let me see. I was put on, different medicine than I was at Austin Oaks for some reason. Like, they switched out my medicine. And made it so that I'm on 2 antipsychotics, which is going to be a problem later, but for now it was actually helpful as it relieved most of my symptoms. Well, yeah, most of them. At first I was still able to think pretty clearly and stuff, but eventually my ability to think declined. When I told this to my doctor, he says it's because I'm not drinking enough water, which is no. Why I'm still embarrassed I even listened to him when he said that. That's obviously not the case. Anyway. Honestly, I would see more symptoms of dehydration if it was really, I would need to be much more dehydrated for it to be water, okay? says like when you're in the desert, you may not be able to think as well. Like, okay, I'll be less dehydrated in the desert, but obviously I wasn't that dehydrated. And if I was that dehydrated, I would want to drink more water, but no, I had to force myself to do it, so it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, eventually, and for some reason in that place, my humor is just way better. I cannot replicate that humor anymore, unfortunately, but it's like I was really funny, and all the other girls and boys and they thems all laughed at me. And it's fun. It's kind of different from my usual personality, which is more low-key and quiet, but I ended up being like the class clown type of person. Anyways, eventually I lost my sense of humor as well during the stay, so it's like I went from being very humorous and to just being like, let's see, just being like less like having no good ideas ever. I couldn't think either, so it was like, and I was having a hard time creating my artwork and poems and stuff like that. It's pretty clear that I took a dip in IQ for no reason. And for, you know what the reason is. Me being on 2 antipsychotics for extended periods of time. The other times I was on antipsychotics, they didn't cause this, but this time it did. That's probably because it was on so many of them, and also on them for a little longer than the other cases. Anyways, I'm still resent those that doctor, and even my therapist, though, for like, well, not really any therapist. They didn't really do anything, to be honest. It's my doctor, though. Really putting me on this type of medicines. Like, I get it. It's obviously effective in the short term, but not the long term. It's just going to cause problems. Anyways, there's a lot of stories I could talk about this one. Like, there's this girl. She was very, like, she wasn't, I don't want to say she's violent, but she is aggressive. And there's a time where she, literally, like, drew food on the ground for someone who's cleaning up the floor because she thought she was annoying. And, there's a time where she, like, she's, like, kind of constantly kept getting, like, not tackled, but, like, restrained by the staff members who would always call the code on her because she keeps, like, being aggressive and stuff. There's even a time where she causes the police to be called because she's, like, being so, I don't know, hurt, I guess. Eventually she gets into this, like, place because she gets sent away early because she was being so disruptive. There's even one time where she got like mad that somebody killed a bug that was bothering them, I guess, saying that, you know, bugs don't deserve to die. It's like, I don't know, bro, they're bugs, but whatever. It's like, I would understand it's like a small animal, like a rat or something, but like a bug. Like, they're very simple creatures. I guess their evolution just demands them to be more simplistic than really complex creatures, like ones made of, ones like, with, you know, not endoskeletons, skeletons were like, you know, bones, internal bones. Anyways, there's also another case where just girl, this little girl, she's like 11 or 12. Couldn't tell which, honestly. She's just the type to was being rude to people for literally no reason. She just a lot of times where she like say something just to get on someone's nerves or to provoke them. She's a what's the word? Let me see. Instigator. There you go. She instigates a lot, and she even like tried to insult me a few times. It's like it didn't really bother me that much because something about that medicine just really makes me keep my temper under control. You know, because usually I would be a little bit more sharp myself, I would say. Anyways, that medicine really makes me passive and stuff. I really don't like it. I just kind of laughed it off, I guess. It's like, sometimes, first she said, if you want to know, she pretty much called me a boy. It's like, okay, bro. I guess it kind of cut a little deeper because, like, people tend to confuse me of ask whether I'm the boy or girl a lot, and it's like, girl. Being a girl, it's kind of weird to have such a deep voice or a voice that sounds like this. I understand if there's some confusion, but no, it makes sense. But I think it's pretty obvious that it wasn't like a boy, because it's like it was. I wouldn't say it's being an auger unit would make it, because obviously some of them could identify as a boy or non-binary. But it's like because of that, it's a pretty good chance I'm a girl, and I don't think she knew that. She was trying to be nasty for no reason. There's a time where she provoked this other girl into literally shouting at her and crying. She's been like gossiped a bunch of times for what she says to people, what she says to staff members. I don't even know where she even learns this stuff. What type of parents does she have? Anyways. There's even a time which is very interesting for her character where she this staff member was being very generous by doing a lot of people's hair, by braiding it and stuff. And the staff member told her no. Then she started doing this thing where she starts pulling her hair and crying. Then when the staff member agrees, she acts perfectly fine. She's being manipulative. Anyways, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot that happened in there. I mean, I've been there for a whole 5 months, so there definitely has to be stuff that happened there, but I just don't feel like talking about it, I guess. I could talk about it later. Let me see if there's anything. Well, let me talk about this recent stay I had, because this one's very interesting. So, here's when I got my medicine reduced, this is my best day, because obviously getting my medicine reduced is so far the best thing that ever happened to me with this medicine stuff. Anyways, this place is at first literally nothing special, but then there's this girl who says she has DAD. At first I didn't think of anything of her. She just hanged out with the other girls, Which, one day she, she gets in a fight with this black girl, who I thought was very pretty. And calls her, a black, ugly black bitch. That's what she said. And, that's obviously racist. And so she got a little bit of a reputation for it. But eventually all those people passed. And she was actually let off on a clean slate. A lot of people didn't know what she did. But then later she says, I'm sorry for being racist. Then now these other people know about what she did. And then this other girl, she had really short hair. She says she doesn't like slurs a lot because priests have called her, the F slur. And that's a very traumatizing experience. Then this other girl who was gonna be very interesting, I'll talk about her later, kind of defends her by saying, we all make mistakes. Or she was bullied and stuff like that. Yeah, she was bullied. Anyways, she's been there for the longest I've ever won. She's been there for months, and usually people only stay for like a few weeks. So, honestly, I wonder what she was actually admitted for, because I don't see DAD. Okay, let me show you let me tell you what she done with the DAD thing. She literally have 10 different authors of all of these fictional characters, and I'm pretty sure authors don't work that way. She had a Deku author, a Naruto author, and Sasuke author. She would have what else did she have? Well, she had a Azu author, which she only made after I said I like Azu. Like, what? You just suddenly got a new author? Anyways, she also had Dream SMP authors, she's that type of person. Anyways, that made her quite unlikable among the group of, different girls, boys, they-thems. They pretty much, she's the compulsive liar and they don't like her. Anyways, she keeps trying to date these younger girls, There's one of these girls who I would talk about later, who just said I'm not sure if we want to repeat this, but what the heck. Apparently they're in the bathroom, they were sucking each other's titties, bro. Anyways, yeah. Eventually, the same girl, the little girl she did that to, said she was gonna press charges after they had an argument, and honestly, I would be scared about that because she did kind of break the law doing that. And the staff members had the softest reaction to that. This child literally almost pretty much got raped, and they were like, okay, we need to keep an extra eye on them. Like, I know, I think you should do a little bit more, Anyways, so that's her character arc or character thing. The next one is, I'm gonna talk about the girl that she was dating. She had diabetes and she's only 12, so she's very obese. She keeps trying to eat sugar and stuff, but she's not supposed to. That could kill her by a heart attack or something. But it doesn't stop her from literally stealing people's Halloween candy. Anyways, she's also decided to be kind of racist to Koreans for no reason. When she was in an argument with these other girls for being too annoying at the gym. Yeah, there was a gym. Let's see what else. That's pretty much her character. She's just that very immature 12-year-old what a 12-year-old should be, What else should I talk about? See what I'm trying to save the best for last. What should I say? Okay. Let me talk about some conversation I had there. So one of the texts were like, they're religious and they're also pretty a philosopher type, and they had some strong beliefs about creationism and stuff. So I decided to, let's see how well my brain is now that I'm off some of this medication. Let me do a little argument. So I did. He's pretty much like, if something created must have a creator, or something that exists must have, something, I'm sure you heard an argument like that if you argued with theists. And, okay. But then I was like, yeah, but it doesn't have to be a creator. It could have just been like, let's say the universe is a chain of reactions and stuff, and simpler stuff made into complex, and that could have been how it's made. So I was expecting him to go like, oh, so what created the simplest form or something like that. But no, he goes on to say other irrelevant stuff that I don't even remember. Anyways, he also had pretty base belief about LGBTQ and stuff. He had its tendency to make everything philosophical. I don't know how to say that word, but Anyways, let's see. Okay, there's this girl who often got also another case of an aggressive girl. She was she for some reason she farted all the time. I honestly, it made me laugh, but other people are amused. She wouldn't start twerking out of nowhere. Oh yeah, that little girl, that 12-year-old girl from that mental facility, the married one. She did this. They're doing TikTok dances, and out of nowhere, she literally when of this this certain TikTok song goes, she goes there literally starts twerking, and then we have to go. Oh yeah, everyone has to get sent back because she did that, and we lost privileges because of it. I don't know why a 12-year-old is even doing that, but okay. Anyways, this 13-year-old is also twerking a lot. Even trying to teach me and this other girl how to twerk, which obviously I would rather die. Anyways, she got booty juiced multiple times because she kept acting out of line and being aggressive. Okay, the girl who I'm about to talk about next, she was very hated amongst everyone, and oftentimes she would, the first girl I was talking about would be very aggressive towards her, just often get mad at her for just looking at her. But to be honest, I don't really think she did anything to her, to be honest. She just wants to feel accepted among the group or something. I feel like that's the only reason you do something like that, when someone literally did nothing to you. Anyways, there's a time she's accused of having a sharp rock in the mental facility. Obviously that's bad because someone could self-harm with that. She didn't have it, but her roommate did. But anyways, it didn't stop her from being searched. She was very aggressive to the staff members, and even this specific staff member who's awfully I'm surprised he's not fired yet. How did he's swearing and stuff and being very aggressive. I'm gonna call him lead guy, but I don't think I have to refer to him again in this. And she got booty juice. That's what I remember her, booty juice girl. Anyways, who else? Oh yeah, the last girl. There's this girl. She's very she's the type of person to be come on guys, let's all get along. We live under the same house. We live together. That preachy type. And the other girls, boys, they find that pretty annoying. And there's even one case where this boy in the corner is like, stop being so dramatic, blah blah blah. And then eventually, later that night, she gets punched in the face by that same said boy. And then after that, she starts to act a little bit more on edge, to be honest. She acts a little bit more, like, I wouldn't say, like, aggressive, but she's, well, maybe a little aggressive. Not, she just kind of fights back a little bit more. And, and she gets more irritable. Then eventually she makes a whole speech out. Everyone started like kind of bullying her. Then eventually she makes a whole speech of like how she's a nice person and she predicted that this is gonna happen, that everyone's gonna turn against her. And I'm sure this person sounds like a specific sociotics type, but yeah, she's anyways, around that same night, she got punched in the face again, and eventually she has to get discharged from the hospital because, and she's in danger because people keep trying to punch her in the face. Anyways, and almost all my stays, I managed to stay unproblematic, except for the one I had psychosis on. Oh, not really. Actually, I wouldn't say I was unproblematic because 2 out of the 3 of my stays I was problematic, so I can't give that to myself, you know. Anyways, that was interesting stuff. But yeah, that's a lot of my experiences and what I have to sum up to say about my mental health experiences, antipsychotics, my little theory on what's going on with me and stuff like that. Anyways, hopefully I could recover from what the antipsychotics did to me by getting off the antipsychotics completely. And hopefully I don't lose my edge completely, or I'm definitely going to gain edge, if you know what I mean, but don't lose my sanity if I get off the antipsychotics. But it's probably going to happen either way. It's just know, like, I could guarantee that I'm gonna get off them because how much I can't stand being dumb, you know. Anyways, thank you for watching. If anyone's watching, because I'm procrastinating my homework right now. How can you not procrastinate homework when so many interesting things come up? Anyways, fine.